Hey, what's up? So this video is for the ARI boot campers and the people in the ARI Facebook group. And so I want to ask that you guys do not share this video. I don't care if you send it to a friend or, this person or that person, but please don't share this publicly across all the social media platforms. This video is on YouTube. It's unlisted. That means if you don't have the link, you can't find it. It's not going to be shared on my channel. But I want to talk about a bunch of things that have been happening. Everyone's freaking out right now about the scratch paper situation. There's been a bunch of other situations I want to discuss. I want to talk about, kind of what's been happening with NCARB, where I see a lot of these new changes going. And then I'll be honest, I want to talk about you. I don't really care about NCARB. I care about you. I care about you and your success. And I got a lot of thoughts and opinions about kind of mindset and attitude and how you should keep moving forward with all these, new things that they keep throwing at you. All right. Let's get into it. I have a list of notes that I'm going to look. I just jotted down a bunch of things. I'll just run through my notes and we'll talk about it. So the first part is I want to talk about kind of what's happened and what my thoughts are. Before we talk about scratch paper, I want to back up a little bit further and say that a couple weeks ago, NCARB updated the NCARB 5.0 handbook, the ARI 5.0 handbook. And they did it quietly, hoping that no one would notice. And we noticed. I forget, like almost immediately, someone figured it out and posted and everyone went bananas. NCARB, when we confronted them on this, NCARB customer service had no idea it even happened either. They were in the dark about it, as NCARB had no idea NCARB updated the handbook. And they didn't know how to respond. And then eventually NCARB responded and said, by the way, we made some changes. And they told us what objectives were changed, but they never actually told us what changed. And I kept being persistent. I say, no, if you're going to change the testing criteria, you got to let us know exactly what the changes are. When the IBC or the AIA contracts change, they give us that information. Tell us what was revised. And it never came. They just kind of, water under the bridge. It is what it is. We never got an appropriate answer. And I actually had emailed several state boards about that. I was really upset. Next is last week, Michael Armstrong posted an article about changing the architecture accreditation, the years of architecture school. Accredited architecture programs would go from, originally it used to be 5 years, then it went to 6 years, and now they want to change it to 4 years. And people went crazy on this. It was an opinion article on Architect Magazine with no opportunity to leave a comment on his opinion. And so I was actually surprised. LinkedIn just went crazy on people from all over the profession really chimed in. And a lot of people had some strong opinions. While we're here, I'll just tell you mine is, whatever. Okay, NCARB. I'm just frustrated with all these other problems that have been happening. I see this as kind of an offshoot of what the IPAL program is. Since the very beginning, IPAL has always been a tool to market architecture schools to parents, and that's what it sounds like. What this is, and my response is, I don't care. I don't care about the parents of a 17-year-old. I care about the NCARB stakeholders in the ARI community. To have the CEO come out and spend so much time and energy sharing this, while he's he's done a great job of distancing himself from all of the challenges and issues that we have in the profession. I very publicly called I think it's time for this guy to resign. So that's my opinion on it. I'm just frustrated with everything else. I'm not sure why they're channeling resources into this. All right, the next thing that happened is, now they're getting closer to remote proctoring. NCARB proved me wrong. Yes, they got me wrong. I originally said remote proctoring isn't going to happen until 2021 or further, and they expedited it, and it's moving faster. So I was wrong on that prediction. As we're getting closer to remote proctoring, yesterday they quietly made an announcement that there's going to be no more scratch paper on remote proctoring exams or even in-person exams. And it kind of makes sense to me, the remote proctoring. While you're not in a testing center letting you write stuff down, there's no way for them to take away that piece of paper from you. And there's no way for them to control it. Honestly, I think there's a bigger problem with remote proctoring. I've been a skeptic since day one. I'm not sure how I'm really questioning the security of these exams. It seems, to take the architect exam, security is worse than going through it at the airport. And I'm not sure that, moving your webcam around and showing people what's in the room is really going to be an appropriate security response. I just think there's hidden cameras and see-through mirrors, and there's all these things. I don't see it as realistic. Um, so I think that's a bigger problem. But back to the scratch paper, NCARB claims that they've created a digital solution to having scratch paper. It's going to be called a digital whiteboard, and you're going to be able to draw and sketch and do all the same stuff you could do with a pen and paper. Whatever. We haven't seen it yet. We don't know what it is. I'll say this though, NCARB has never been proficient with using technology to administer the architect exam ever. And so I'm skeptical. Let's see what they come up with. Their reason for doing this, what I thought was frustrating, was in the same article yesterday that got published. They said that scratch paper is a liability. It's creating a liability for them. And my argument is liability. Are you kidding? We've always had scratch paper. As an architect, I can't think without a pen or a pencil in my hand and having to write something. And I know many of you guys feel the same way. So having these elaborate math problems, how are we supposed to solve this stuff? There's so many unknowns. There are so many unknowns. Then there's so much they haven't told us yet. So, having said that, a lot of people are frustrated. It's been a bad year for NCARB and ARE candidates and testing, and the existing problems of the problems in the testing centers. That's never been resolved. It seems like their solution to fixing a 4-year problem has been, ignoring the problem and giving us a new solution that's apparently going to fix it. So we don't know yet. I'll be honest though, you guys have been in a wild ride. And so someone from the community created a petition yesterday. I thought it was fair. It was well written. And so I'll post a link in the description of this video. But read the petition, read the comments. Last time I looked, there was at least 150 comments. The last time I looked, people are really sharing their stories with what's happening and their thoughts on taking away the scratch paper. So take a look at the petition. All right, the next thing I want to talk about is speaking out. Guys, NCARBs, will only talk at you and they will never talk with you. They do all these think tanks. They ask for all these surveys. They make it look like they're talking with you. But I don't see the results of any of these surveys or think tanks. I feel like the think tanks, everything that they talk about, we've been complaining about for 10 years, are still the same problems we're having today. Well, yes, the exams have changed, times are different. It's a lot of the same problems. And my frustration is no one is listening or advocating on behalf of the next generation of architects. In my personal opinion, I truly believe that not saying anything, staying quiet, is really the worst thing that you can do. That is exactly why I believe the profession has so many problems, is people are scared to speak out and say, hey, this is screwed up, or why are we doing it this way, or does this really make sense? Those questions aren't being asked on a high level at most levels, and I think it takes us to a weird place, which is I think where we're going and where we've been. One of the things I've learned with ARE candidates is that people think that NCARB is going to retaliate on them. If I speak out and I say this is messed up, how come it is this way? They're going to make me fail all my exams. Guess what, guys? I've never really actually seen evidence of that. I've seen NCARB actually treats everyone like crap, and I've seen some people be very outspoken and say a lot of really rough, tough things around NCARB, and eventually make it through and pass their exams. I don't think that NCARB is putting all those pieces together. And even myself, yours truly, I made those 2 videos, those 2 20-minute long videos called NCARB is Failing. And then after I put those out a couple weeks later, I decided to apply for reciprocity in the state of Florida. And I said, here we go. Let's see what happens. And actually, NCARB processed everything. I said, they're going to see my name and this is going to get screwed up. But I had no problems. The NCARB part got through just fine. It was the state of Florida, which it was all screwed up from COVID. That took forever to get that processed. So I don't see that. I don't see that as a reality. And I'll be honest, I think by not saying anything because you're worried about that, I think you're feeding the problem. So that's my piece on it. I would say, moving forward, with the speaking out stuff, stop complaining to NCARB about NCARB. It's a waste of time. I think you need to complain. If you're an AIA member, you need to complain to your AIA board, the president, the executive director. You need to let the AIA know what's going on with your exams. You need to complain to the state boards. I've been talking to the state boards much more with all these issues, much more than I've been talking to NCARB about them. The NCARB board of directors, everyone, when NCARB put out that diversity commitment and all these things, everyone flipped out on the NCARB board of directors. Well, guess what? Those people's names and where they live and work is all on NCARB's website. It's not that hard to look up someone's email address and to start approaching those people. They are the decision makers. They're the ones that are making these big decisions. It's a waste of time talking to the customer service. Their customer service is to block you from getting to the higher ups. So I would keep going to them. I would talk to those people. I would even Michael Armstrong. As much as I think he should resign for bad leadership, we need to contact the top, and we need to let other people know what's happening. When you contact them, make it personal. Let them know what's going on. Tell them your situation. I think a lot of times people think that you guys are machines and you're not human beings. And, the biggest problem with the architect exam is this thing called life that gets in the way. So make sure you make it personal and tell them about, who you are and what's going on with you in your life. I would also say let your bosses know, let your mentors know about the challenges and issues that you're having with NCARB. But most importantly, you guys need to get involved. The next generation needs to figure out how to get into these positions of power. Everyone was so upset about the NCARB board of directors, but those people are voted in. They are not assigned. They're not. They're voted into those positions. We need to figure out how to get jobs at NCARB and be on the team of the community and their stakeholders. I think we need to question the AIA. NCARB always says that the AIA is your advocate. NCARB is the regulator, and the AIA is the advocate. Well, is the AIA appropriately advocating for you in these concerns and problems? I know a couple AIAs are, but generally speaking, across the board, no. The AIA is not advocating on behalf of all these challenges you're having with NCARB. And then I guess the last thing is just support the people. And as you see people, sign the petition, support the other people who are stepping up and trying to make a difference. So that's what I think about all that. All right, I want to talk about you. So I would say it's pretty safe to say that there are many more changes that are going to happen in the next couple of weeks. I think we're starting to see this happening. And, NCARB's really good at stuff that they know is going to be controversial, just kind of slipping it through and not making a big deal about it. And the stuff that they know that no one cares, that, okay, whatever. It's like how many times did they explain that they extended our rolling clocks and they're not charging us for reschedule fees? I feel like they talk about that over and over and over again. But then they update the handbook and they don't let anyone know. So I will guarantee that there will be more changes that might upset you in the upcoming weeks. And I know people are pissed about what you've been through already this year and, the scratch paper. And I feel like you have every right to make noise and be frustrated. However, on the inside, I want you to be patient. I want you to be patient. Yes, I think it's okay to be frustrated, but we got to be patient. And over the past couple of days, and this is actually why I'm really making this video, I've seen a handful of people be like, I'm so frustrated. I want to give up. I want to give up on my architect exams because NCARB sucks. And that drives me absolutely bonkers. Because one of the things I tell the bootcamp this all the time is I say, listen, guys, if you really want to become a licensed architect, you got to fight for this thing. NCARB does not just hand these things out. They are going to make you fight for it. They're going to make you study your ass off. They're going to push you down, tell you fail. They're going to screw up your paperwork. They're going to cancel your exams and all of these different things. NCARB is going to make you fight for it. And if you're not willing to put in the time and do these fights and be persistent, you're never going to get there. I'll be honest, you're never going to get there. I always say, I'm not the smartest man in the world. I'm not the best designer. I'm not the most talented. But I watched so many people never get their licenses as I was going through the process. And you know why? I was just more persistent than they are. That was the only skill that I had. I just wouldn't take no for an answer, and I just kept coming back. You have to fight for this thing. You got to be resilient. There are more challenges you haven't even gotten to yet that everyone hasn't gotten to. And so my advice is, yes, make noise. I think we need to speak out at the same time, and yes, get pissed. But I think instead of just giving up, I think we need to channel that into working harder, being more persistent, being more focused in your studying, being resilient, helping other people get there, and channel all of that frustration into just getting through this process. And I'll be honest, once you're done, the people who are done, when you are a licensed architect, your ability to make change is so much greater. I'm not saying, I would say everyone's got to speak up, everyone who's dealing with this, but we got to, even after this process is over, you can't just wash your hands of it and say, thank God that's over. I never want to look back. That hurts the profession more than anything else, is when people don't stick around and they don't speak out. And it's the same thing. That's how things got so messed up in the first place. So while yes, there's changes, things are messed up. It always has been. This is the fight, and this is the game that you have to play. It is what it is. There's the only way you're going to get there. And as much as it sucks, and I wish it was easy, I'll be honest, like on the flip side, doing these fights and going through this and being resilient, it's fantastic life skills that's going to help you when the time comes to be more successful in your career and entrepreneurship and starting businesses and really pushing to the next level. So yeah, to make, a lot of times we have to have these uncomfortable conversations and deal with these situations if we want to make progress. And I think that should be your attitude, is it's going to be uncomfortable, but we're going to make progress and we're going to move through it. And it's not going to stop you, because you're going to be resilient and you're going to be persistent. So that's how I feel about it. Those are my thoughts. All right, team. I love you guys. Just keep working hard. Just keep working hard and keep doing what you're doing. You guys have always done a fantastic job with supporting each other and just keep pushing forward. So we're going to get there. This isn't going to block anyone from getting their licenses. I'll guarantee that's not going to happen. So I'll talk to you guys later. All right, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.